All right, welcome back to Indian Trace. I do want to tell you this. Some of you know, and there's only one vase here really, it's a mirror. Some of you know, because of Indian Trace, that what you're looking at is my Heartbreakers vase. A couple questions came in, and they said, man, your Heartbreakers vase must be filled by now. It's not. I'd call it half. Maybe a little more than half, 60%. And we've got a lot of room left. So I wanted to take a moment or two to share this because there's a lot of new people that have come by. It's quite large, across the probably maybe a foot across and a foot and a half high. But I wanted to take an opportunity to do a layered real slow down because every single one of the pieces in this vase would have been a smoker. See, these are not just chips. And I wanted to show some people that. We find pieces that just take our breath away, that are broken. And we say, my goodness, what would it have been like if that piece would have been whole? Anyway, that's part of the fun of collecting Indian artifacts. So I want to show you some of these, and hopefully the glare won't be too bad and I can get a close-up of some of this stuff. Not one piece inside this vase. Not one piece. And I have to make sure my mind goes slow so you can pause it. There's a lot of great artifacts in here. It's a way I can have another place to display, and I won't have to put things that are broken in a frame. You know, you could. If that's your prerogative, you know, I support all creative expression when it comes to bringing recognition to these artifacts. But we all find pieces that capture our imagination. And I want to take a little time here because there's literally 300 pieces in here that would have been complete smokers. And I mean it. So, and they're jumbled up. Imagine beneath the earth, beneath the ground, when you have a habitational site of 5,000 years of habitation, what it looks like beneath the dirt. Beneath the sea of dirt, if you will. Can you imagine? The expressions of stone which have not changed? Makes you curious, doesn't it? A lot of these heartbreakers, I will remember where they came from. But it's just amazing to me to be able to have a place where I can admire them as well, you know, in a complete separate place for pieces that are whole. But I needed a perspective, and I think that they're all highly valuable in telling their story. And I'm just taking the surface, the top of it. If we go out in a field and we hunt in a field or whatever, it's like the ocean. Once in a while you see a fish jump, you see some fish on the surface, but beneath the surface of the ocean is a whole huge world filled with fish. Same thing with artifacts, just because of the sheer amount of time the North American Indians have been occupying here or where you live. So I'm going slow because it's sort of like it is out there in the field or underneath the ground. It's a jigsaw puzzle. Even when you collect, you try to put it together sort of like a Tetris game to figure out what's going on out there. Now, pieces of quartz like these two in particular that I can see right here, and that is pink, came from the garden, place of dirty quartz. I remember often even where the Heartbreakers come from, like that orange piece there from Cross Creek. But for those of you who are new, this is a way that I have to display pieces, of course, that are broken, but yet to me are great displays of somebody, a master's work. Now I want to give a shout out there's a great family belonging to, we'll say the name Janet. And I want to just put a shout out there for the support and encouragement of Indian Trace. And Brad as well. There's always new people that come by your channel. Hopefully my focus is working. I don't have my glasses on, but I have glasses I use for reading. That's just about it. My eyes are pretty good. But for that family that belongs to Brad and Janet, and you know, here on YouTube when it comes to Artifact, there's quite a few fellas, a whole lot of fellas. I think very few women. Now I know a lot of women like the hobby, but you know, not as many are on YouTube, excuse me. So my shout out to Janet and to Brad and to so many great families out there, because they do it as families. Now my family doesn't really want to go with me across the swamps and up the streams to try to find out where places are. I'm taking a lower level now, so these are all different pieces. Hopefully the glare is not too intense. I'm trying to find the exact best place to keep the natural light inside glass, because the pieces that we see as we move along, you can see why I put them in there. And what I've tried to do on Indian Trace is make it fairly user-friendly when it comes to kids. So I've got little fellas out there such as Archer. Maybe every once in a while Brian will get Durgan by here, and that's a good thing. So I try not to cuss a whole lot. I guess naturally I don't cuss a whole lot as it is, but it's life. I actually don't cuss at all. I can't remember the last time I did cuss. I gave it up in college. But I actually at the same time don't even have any problem with anybody who does use bad language. I don't even know why we call it bad. Where on earth did our value system come from? I'm not talking about just simple morals between one another, but how we defined and how language developed. It's crazy. Especially the English language. Now I'm going lower and lower as we go around here, everybody. So you're seeing different pieces, and we're not even seeing the interior of this vase. So that's just like out there. Right here you're just seeing the surface. And imagine what's underneath the ground out there. So keep going back and don't give up. It always proves itself true. Look at that base right there. From Mecca. It's absolutely locks my brain up. Now, how it works for me is when I'm out there or I find a piece, I know usually if it's going to go in my Heartbreakers, because I can sort of feel that I would have absolutely just loved the piece if it was full, but I still love it because of its strength. I'm keep going lower in this. There's hundreds of pieces in here. Every one would be a smoker. So what I do is if I feel for the piece, if it's something that just sort of speaks to me, it has a place in here. Now I've gone through this once or twice and found pieces that I'm ready to move forward, that I reevaluate. I think in our collections, one thing is good, and I've had a lot of people who just started collecting whatever, they say that they gain a lot of insight from Indian Trace. I appreciate that. But one thing I do also in collecting is I try to reevaluate things, and I'm such a young collector at 6 years. 6 years old. A lot of you guys who've collected for decades are probably laughing at that. But as you know, Indian Trace, I try to look at this tip. I try to do my best to share ideas of how you can keep your stuff fresh and moving forward, I guess. this base from the easement. That base of LaCroix is sugar quartz. Drill. It's from Smoke Alley. Most of these, they're pieces. I mean, this drill right here I found at Mecca. Actually, I found this drill at Notchville. But most of these pieces, I'm pretty quick to remember where they came from because they meant something when I found them. And I didn't want to just find a box for them because even though they were broken, they were significant. I mean, look at these. So looking at my time, I don't want it to be too long. A piece of crystal in there. Nice black. Some people, all they find is black flint. But this also gives you a really great perspective of the materials in eastern central North Carolina. So this piece here that's a little bit bigger is found at Mecca. This piece here at Quiet Sands. This crystal, fishtail, found at Highlands. It just sort of works that way. The strip. All right, I think I've pretty much completed it. Ray down below. But that's the way I roll. It's been a year. Probably a year or more since I've even been able to show you this vase. It's been busy, things have been adjusting. I've been working on new employment, new job, new income. We need income. You know, we have to feed our families. So, anyway, like I said, Brad, I hope everything's going all right. I hope you move forward in this hobby. It'll bring peace to your mind. Stillness to your soul. We can dig right into the middle of this, or I make a big pile, it'd be a whole lot different look. And if I grab a piece of quartz in here, look at the size of this thing. Smoky quartz from the Cascade. Just crazy. So I pile it up in here. Every piece that you grab in here, to me, would have been significant. Look at that piece from the archaic. So that's what they really are. They're all heartbreakers. Didn't break my heart to find them. It has to be that way. Has to be that way. If I found all these and they were all whole, I don't even know what the world I'd have to do with myself. It just doesn't work that way. So from Indian Trace to everybody out there, I don't even know where to stop. I mean, you could spend hours just looking at the different pieces in here, which in themselves were really great finds. Bad glare there. I'm trying to get a good focus just to finish up. Hope you find out there. Be well.